Here are my picks for UFC Winnipeg, and man, there's only 12 fights on here and it's not a very good card, but someone has to talk about it, so I will. There are a lot of people, not big names on here, so I know you guys are confused who to pick, so I'll tell you. First fight of the night, give me Jamie Siraj, the newcomer against John Yanis. John Yanis has only one fight in the UFC where he got submitted by rear naked choke. Jamie Siraj has more pro fights than Yanis, more pro wins, less losses, and he has a lot of wins by submission. Therefore, I think he get the sub against Yanis. Then next up, give me Mark Volokdin against John Castaneda. Mark Volokdin was in that insane Contender Series fight last year, which he did lose, but it was a close fight, very back and forth. It was a war. And Castaneda had some weight problems. He requested a catch weight, and Mark Volokdin accepted at 139 pounds. So Mark Volokdin maybe might be the slightly smaller guy on there. He's 5'3", so he's used to being the smaller guy, so no problem for him. But maybe Castaneda had a tough weight cut, maybe a tough camp, maybe an undisclosed injury or something, because he looked very bad on the scales and obviously requested that catch weight. Even though he has more experience than Volokdin, who's debuting, Castaneda has 8 losses in his pro career, so I think Volokdin could squeak this one out by decision. Then next up, I got Jamie Lynn Horth against JJ Aldrich. I think she's actually pretty solid, more active on the feet. I think she could take this one, guys. Pretty decent prospect from Canada. Then I got Daria Zeleznyakova against Melissa Croden. Croden is pretty old. She's 7-3. Daria is 10-2. She has a slight underdog, so I think there's good value on her. She does have a slightly better UFC resume, so I got Zeleznyakova. Then this is a coin flip heavyweight fight. I do got Tanner Boser here. I think he does have the Canadian home buff. Very inconsistent UFC record. He is coming back to UFC now. 22-10 pro record versus 11-2, so obviously has a lot more experience than Sarikam. But most of Tanner Boser's experience is in the UFC, while Sarikam's is in Bellator, so I got Boser. Then I'm picking another underdog. I'm picking so many underdogs today, guys. I got Julian LeBlanc against Robert Valentin. Robert Valentin is a favorite in 0-3 in the UFC, so I don't think anyone should pick him. He does have some skills, and Julian LeBlanc is pretty old at 37 to be debuting in the UFC, but he's 10-2, solid record. I got LeBlanc. Then I got a big favorite, Marcio Barbosa against Dennis Buzukja. Dennis is 1-3 in the UFC, has lost to some okay guys, but I think Barbosa is a pretty touted prospect for a reason. I think a lot of people are high on him because he has a lot of finishes, pretty entertaining fighter. I think he'd pull this one off. I'm still not completely sold on his skill set yet, but I think Buzukja is not a super tough test for him. I think you could take this one. Then I got another underdog. I got Thiago Moises against Gage Young. Thiago Moises has been in the UFC for a very long time, has fought the top of the competition. He's 19-9. Gage Young is 10-3. Gage Young has had some trouble against very low level guys, and Thiago Moises has had some success against very high level guys. So I got Moises here. He is older. He's 31 years old, which is still not that old in the grand scheme of things. Gage Young is 25, younger guy, hungrier, but Moises is just so much more experienced. I can't pick against him. Then I got Jasmine Jasudavicius against Karine Silva. Yes, she got knocked down her last fight. That was just a flash knockout, happened out of nowhere. Happens to the best of us. I'm really high on Jasmine Jasudavicius. I think she is super skilled, solid striking, great grappling, some of the best grappling in the division. Silva has some solid striking grappling as well, but Jasmine just has the better resume, has been in there with some tough opponents and beaten them. She is getting old, unfortunately, so she really needs this one make or break to secure herself a title shot before she retires. But I think Karine Silva is an opponent she could definitely beat. I think this might turn into a low output standing bout because both of them have grappling. Maybe they won't be going to the ground too much. Maybe it's going to be just a battle of holding each other on the cage for longer, and Jasmine can do that, so I got Jasmine. Then I got the 36 debutant Mandel Nalo against Jai Herbert. There's a lot of old guys on this card. He looked great on the Contender Series though, and the UFC does not like to sign old guys, and they signed him because he's actually good. Herbert has been in there with some solid competition, but he is actually older than Nalo and has a pretty up and down UFC record, so I got Nalo here. I think he's going to be the faster striker. Maybe we'll even find that knockout. Then next up, I got Charles Jourdain. He's only a slight favorite against Kyler Phillips, so I think there's a lot of value there. I think their striking is pretty comparable, but Charles Jourdain has a really good jiu-jitsu game, and since moving down to 135 after an up and down 145 record, he has looked really good. He beat one of my favorite fighters, Davey Grant, in his last fight. Kyler Phillips has some solid wins over some solid names like Song Yudong and Raoni Barcelos, but he just gasses out, man. Everybody knows this about Phillips. He starts strong and then gasses out. Charles Jourdain can manage that fire in the first and then take over later, probably get like a round 2, round 3 sub in my opinion. Then in the main event, I got a cautious Mike Malott pick because honestly, I think Gilbert Burns still has some to give in this sport. He is old. He's on a 4-fight losing streak, but he is pretty skilled. Mike Malott just has that power advantage that I think Gilbert Burns' chin will not be able to handle. In his losing streak, he got dominated by Bilal, then had a close fight with JDM that ended in him getting finished, but JDM was having a lot of close fights at that time. Then he got dominated by Sean Brady and then quickly knocked out by Michael Morales. Not a great 4-fight losing streak. Obviously, those are great names. Mike Malott has never faced someone that good, but in Canada, I think he could take this one, guys. I'm still a little cautious about Mike Malott. I'm not completely sold on him. He has some skills, but if Gilbert Burns could just hold him against the cage or on the ground and Mike can't get up, that is going to be a huge problem. I see Gilbert probably doing that, probably taking him down a few times, because Mike has not been taken down too much in his previous UFC fights because he has not had to. He's not fought a lot of high-level wrestlers. He does have a good jiu-jitsu game, so I don't think Gilbert Burns could sub him, but like I said, he could just run down the clock by holding him down. But man, I think Mike is just going to get up eventually and find that knockout, because Gilbert Burns' chin has been cracked many times, and Mike Malott has solid power, so I think he finds that knockout in the middle to later rounds. But a Gilbert Burns win here wouldn't be the most surprising thing ever. I just really can't pick him anymore after a 4-5 losing streak. I was riding with him for a while. I picked him to beat Michael Morales. I was not sold on Michael Morales, and then he absolutely ran through him. So yeah, I think I got Mike Malott here, guys, but a little cautious. If you're picking Burns, I don't mind you. He's a very big underdog, so the odds on him are very good, but otherwise, yeah, I wouldn't pick him. Are you guys gonna be watching this card? Be honest. That's it. See ya.